Now, you know how eerie it is to look at a plane on flight radar, only to see its recent flight status to be unknown, especially after seeing this plane in a video like this. Yes, everybody, of course, we're going to talk about the UPS MD-11 crash in Louisville that happened just last night in the US. In the few videos we've seen, we see this plane with its left wing practically on fire, not able to create enough speed and therefore lift to keep itself in the air, practically overrunning. In this dashcam footage, we can see the airplane banking to its dead wing, crashing right into a UPS warehouse facility, leaving a huge trail of burning fuel along its way. Also, because of the crash location being an industrial site, there's more and more CCTV camera footage being uploaded as we speak. Goodness. We can see an airplane that's barely gone airborne, around 170 feet or so. Something else we saw is lots of debris on the runway it departed out of. In fact, the plane seemed to have lost its whole engine along the takeoff run. So let's jump back in time in the flight simulator. Here we are on board November 259er UP, which is the very plane involved in the crash. It's around about 4, this airplane is parked at the UPS ramp. The Louisville Muhammad Ali Airport is a big hub for UPS, and they have this whole southern ramp to themselves. All of them are UPS ramps, and the airplane is parked right here. It's being loaded at ramp 5 at around 3 to 4 p.m., getting ready for its flight to Honolulu. This MD-11 tri-jet is 31 years old, first flew in 1991, and of course a flight from Louisville, Kentucky to Honolulu in Hawaii is quite long, 8 hours and 38 minutes on average. This plane though hasn't done a long flight like this in a while. It had a maintenance break from September the 3rd to the 18th of October, and it's only done 1 to 4 hour flights ever since. In fact, the last flight to be this long for this plane was on the 3rd of May. Now, a long flight always means one thing: a heavy airplane. Tens of thousands of gallons of fuel being loaded into this plane indeed, which does explain the enormous trail of jet fuel it left along its crash path. In fact, 38,000 gallons of fuel, nearly 250-ish thousand pounds, which is nearly the maximum fuel load this plane can take. Anyway, it is 5:02 local time. The airplane has just pushed back and turned on its engines. 3 of them. Now this will be important for future reference. This right here is engine number 1. This right here is engine number 2, the upper engine, and this right here is engine number 3. The airplane now, with a lot of load and a lot of fuel, begins taxiing to its departure runway, which is right next to here. From holding point Bravo of the runway 17 right at 5:10 local time, the UPS flight 2976 rolls onto the runway for its departure. Now this is obviously where the story gets rough, and where we also don't really know what caused the left engine to separate. But, well, the plane obviously took off from the long 3,600 meter long runway. Because of our immense weight, we have a very, very late decision speed, 150 knots or so, at least here in the flight sim. Now, if you don't know, the decision speed V1 means that after we reach that speed, we cannot reject the takeoff safely because we don't have enough runway left. What would have happened now is that at a lot of airspeed, the engine number 1 catches fire for whatever reason, and that leads to an uncontained engine failure. And what an uncontained engine failure looks like is this: the engine breaks apart from the airplane. Now, about this fire, it's very plausible as well that the engine broke off first, and then the leaking fuel caused the wing to ignite as well. So when the airplane exactly caught fire is unknown yet. But not as cleanly as it just did here in the flight sim model. No, you can see so much debris that we can assume that this engine breaking off could have caused a lot of debris to fly around the airplane as well. And that is bad news. See, normally this plane could be able to somehow still take off and reach proper speeds on 2 engines, but it becomes an issue when debris hits the upper engine, engine number 2, as well. Yes, it could have been that the engine number 2, by ingesting debris, also had a sort of failure. This is what people believe what happened. We obviously don't know yet. Investigations will have to show. Especially also how the left CF6 engine could have separated so easily after such a short time. It could have very well been that the engine number 1 catching fire would have melted the pylons right off. Either way, here we are now. We are at a lot of speed with only one engine working with a very heavy airplane that is unable to create lift. And just like in real life, we've got a left bank, and this is the warehouse that the airplane crashed into. Loads of people online are, drawing relations to the American Airlines Flight 191 because it has very similar earmarks. American Airlines Flight 191 was a DC-10, also a trijet, which had its left engine break off. The engine ended up being found as well next to the runway, just like what we saw here. The American Airlines Flight 191 ended up being 30 seconds in the air. It impacted the ground not far from its departure airport in Chicago, killing almost everyone on board. Now about this Flight 191, the reason that left engine fell off is because the pylon broke because of improper maintenance. They apparently used forklifts to raise the engine in maintenance and damaging the pylons, which is why the engine fell off. This case feels a little bit different though, because of the massive ball of fire we can see on the left engine before it even fell off, which is happening right now here in slow motion. And investigations will have to show why the CF6 engine could have separated even from an engine fire, which normally doesn't happen. An engine on fire shouldn't cause it to separate from the airplane, especially because of the debris damage that can be done to engine number 2. So far we know that the UPS Airlines Flight 2976 had 3 crew members on board, all of which deceased in the incident, of course, which is extremely tragic because of the almost helpless nature of the incident. From what we see so far, no pilot action could have prevented this incident. An uncontained engine failure after the decision speed to be able to stop again, which then leads to another engine failure because of debris. There is really nothing you can do. So my prayers go out to the families and also of the so far 4 more people that deceased on the ground in the warehouse. So everybody, this is a very developing story. And we've learned that everything that I've said could be genuinely wrong because the story is so early in development. What do you think about this incident? Let me know in the comments. I guess I'll keep you updated. And thank you guys for watching this.